Good morning, class 12. Welcome back once again. So, today we are going to start with a very interesting chapter of economics, that is methods of calculating national income. So, today I am going to introduce this chapter with the topic circular flow of income. Well, children, already you have done this topic circular flow of income in chapter 1. But today I am going to revise once again with you. When we talk about circular flow of income, we are talking about a flow of, let's say, a real flow and a money flow, where there is a flow of factor services which is rendered by the household to the producer sector, and in return there is a flow of goods sold by the producer sector to the household sector. This is the real flow. And at the same time there is a flow of money from household to the producer sector for the purchase of goods and services, and in turn there is a flow of money from the producer sector to the household sector for the factor services. So each money flow is a reciprocal of real flow. That means the money flow from household to the producer for the purchase of good is a reciprocal of real flow of goods from producer to the household. Similarly, children, money flow from producer to the household, that is for the payment of factor services, is a reciprocal of real flow of factor services from the household to the producers. Now, this is a wheel. A circular flow is a wheel which never stops, because the production of services, the production of goods cannot be stopped, and the rendering of the services from the household to the production sector cannot be stopped. At the same time, the purchasing of goods and services from the household by the household from the producer sector cannot be stopped, and that is how this circular flow of income, which is also known or could be said the wheel which can never stop. And there are three reasons for this. First, this wheel relates to the production of goods and services, which is essential for the survival of human beings, right? Secondly, this wheel or a flow, it relates to the generation of income, which is essential for the purchase of goods and services. That means production of goods and services is also essential, and the purchase of goods and services is also essential. And the last one, that is the wheel, it relates to the disposition, that is expenditure, disposition of income, which is essential for the continuation of production activity. That means it is very necessary for the household to do the expenditure, because until unless they do not purchase the goods and services, how the production activities will carry on. So expenditure on goods and services generates a revenue for the firm, and this revenue is used for the purchase of inputs for further production. So children, this wheel of economic activities, it shows that how production is converted into factor income and how income is converted to expenditure for the continuation of economic activities. We can say, in other words, that production, generation of income, and disposition, that is the expenditure of income, are the three principal phases of economic activities. And you know that each phase highlights same critical parameter, that is the level of economic activity or the level of the national income. So if we talk about the phase 1, it highlights the level of economic activity, or you can say the level of national income, through the volume of output, that is production. Then if we talk about phase 2, it highlights the level of economic activity or the level of national income through generation of income, right? And if we talk about phase 3, it highlights the level of economic activity or the level of national income through expenditure on the purchase of goods and services. So children, this is how the three phases, they highlight how the national income is being generated. So if we talk about each phase in detail, then in phase 1 there is a production of goods and services in the economy, where the firms, what they do, they hire or they purchase the factors of production from the household, that is from the owners of production, and then they organize these factors in such a way to produce the goods and services. Now when these goods and services are produced, children, then this production actually leads to the value addition. When we talk about a value addition, means while the production process goes on, that production process, a number of the things are being added, which is known as value addition. And this is measured as the difference between the value of output and intermediate consumption. Already previously I have told you what is intermediate. Intermediate, the goods which are used in between for the production activities. So this is equal to the market value of final goods and services produced in the economy during the period of an accounting year, which is actually called a domestic product. Now if we talk about phase 2, under phase 2, the value added is distributed among those who have actually contributed to the process of production or to the process of value added. Means the factors of production: land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. Now children, logically if you see, the entire value which has been added is distributed among the factors of production or the owners of factors of production by means of rent, interest, profit and compensation of employees. These are actually the factor payments. Payments from the point of view of firm, and factor income from the point of view of the household. So the sum total of these factor income is called domestic income, which is exactly equal to domestic product. Already I have explained you this also, you have done in a previous chapter, that domestic product is identical to domestic income. Then if we talk about phase 3, children, then over here the household, they spend the entire income on the purchase of goods and services, and it is assumed that there is no saving. So accordingly, domestic income is converted into a final expenditure which is actually done on the purchase of goods and services. So children, considering these three phases together, we find that in a two-sector economy, value added, that is the value of final goods and services, is equal to, that is income generated, equal to expenditure on purchase of final goods and services. So this is called a triple identity. A triple identity which suggests that domestic or the national income can be viewed only from three different angles. That is the sum of total value added by the producing unit, the sum of total factor income generated in the economy, and the sum of total expenditure on the final goods and services produced in the economy during the accounting year. So these three angles, or these three, you can say, phases of domestic and national income are actually called the three different methods of calculating the national income.